TheRippStixx. May 5th, 2024. Frank is not impressed with my beat or my dancing. What's up, little dude?
Nothing really.
So it's just me and you.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our other host.
What about, we can talk about our cards.
What?
Our cards.
What cards?
Oh,
you're right. Yeah, I know. Those are thoughts that you leave up to the host. I was going to tell him about.
You almost just forgot it.
I didn't almost forget it.
I said card.
Listen, so Lincoln is not with us today. Lincoln is not feeling the podcast. I don't know what's going on. I think it's part he doesn't realize how cool I am. Part he's lazy. And part he just wants to talk about sports the entire time with no interruption. Only him speaking about basketball. My thoughts exactly. So what's up, little dude?
Nothing really. Well, the only thing is that I got the game ball for my game.
I was going to say, you have something to talk about in Franklin's last game. He got the game ball. And that, I'm trying to think, Frank. That's like this. Franklin got the game ball. So I was really proud of you. So I was standing right outside the dugout, like on the third base line. Ball, little Franklin playing third base. Ball ripped down the third base line. Line drive. Man on third.
It wasn't a line drive. It was like a pop-up.
That was not a pop-up. That was a line drive to the point to where I was like, oh my God, if he doesn't catch this, the base is going to clear or it was going to like hit you in the chest. Line drive, you catch it, and then have the instinct to run to your bag to double up to end the inning. The only thing I didn't appreciate about that play is after you did it. Yeah, I see your face.
What?
After you did it, you did one of these like.
That's when I was doing the RBI.
Right, and then the other thing that he did was he got
RBI single.
an RBI single, which was at the time very impactful of the game. So he's doing really well, and you're playing. The majority of the kids that you're playing against that are any good are a lot older than you. So, I think it's good. And you know what's funny? You don't play that much baseball. Like, you play baseball during baseball season. You don't practice baseball. You don't think about baseball. You don't throw a baseball. You don't hit a baseball until you get in the season. Meanwhile, you got some of these kids that are playing all year long. What do you think about the season so far?
Our team is good.
Good. What's your record?
6-1.
6-1. And I think if you played the team again, which you will, that you lost to,
the Trash Pandas, we are.
You're going to beat them.
We're playing them on not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday.
That's cool. That is cool. So we got a bunch of stuff to talk about, dude.
Uh-huh.
What about those Sixers?
I feel like they lost just because due to injuries and like they didn't play as good as defense either.
Yeah. You know, I'm like really conflicted with this season because in one respect I go, so I just dislike Embiid, but when I think about it, I go, all right, if he didn't get hurt, they likely would have been the 2nd seed or possibly the 1 seed. Because basically they lost. They had a great record. They lost the entire time he was back or gone. Then he came back and they won a lot. And, you know, he probably wasn't 100% when they came back. So in my head, I'm going, all right, the team the way it was this year, if he played all year, they probably would have met the Celtics in Eastern Conference Finals. But I just don't think they'd ever beat them, not in a million years. Mm-hmm. So what do you do?
And what?
Do you try to run it back again with Embiid and Maxey and possibly pick up 2 power forwards? What do you do?
Well, first, if I was the coach, I would just trade Tobias Harris.
Well, Tobias Harris doesn't need to be traded. He's gone. His contract's up. They're not going to re-sign him. He's going to be playing for another team. That's 100% true. They have to make decisions on Kelly Oubre, Nicholas Batum, Buddy. Like, these are all guys that also probably will not be back.
What about Payne?
Yeah, he's going to be gone too, I think. I would keep Oubre. I like Oubre.
I keep Oubre, Payne, and Batum. I
don't keep Payne.
I don't want Buddy Hield.
You know, Buddy Hield's interesting, man. Like, in one respect, I don't think they played him enough. But I also don't know how good he is. But I like Oubre because you know what, man? Oubre does that one thing that almost no one else did on the Sixers, which was he just kind of flew all over the place and he rebounded and he had hustle and heart. And that's what that team is missing. You watch any of these teams that are still in the playoffs, Frank, and what you're going to find out is these guys have heart. They're like, man, they play. Mm-hmm. And rebounding is all hustle and heart. Mm-hmm. I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm. At least they didn't get swept.
Yeah.
At least they kept it a little close. 3-2.
Yeah, they made it interesting. One thing that I didn't appreciate was how the Philadelphia fans allowed that many New York fans in our stadium, in our arena. I mean, that's crazy. These Sixers fans with season tickets that sold their tickets, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. Mm-hmm. Just don't even. You're not a fan. I'm sorry. You're not a fan. If you're selling your playoff tickets, you're not a fan. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, on the other hand, the Phillies are doing great.
Phillies are actually, they're scaring me. They're doing so good that I'm like concerned that.
Well, even if they lose their best star, like Kyle Schwarber or not Tobias Harris, Bryce Harper, they still win.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time the Phillies were doing this good this early. Like probably 93. I mean, man, I just it's going to be interesting. They are really, really entertaining to watch right now. Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, listen to this. I'm going to read off some stats to you, right? Trey Turner is hitting 343. Now, Trey Turner's hurt, and that stinks because he was in a rhythm. Trey Turner's hitting 343. Bohm is hitting 364. I mean, this dude.
How much is Schwarber?
Well, Schwarber's only hitting 212, but he leads the team in home runs. Big surprise. Big surprise. He's got 8 home runs.
Mm-hmm. What about like Brandon Marsh?
So Brandon Marsh is hitting 265 with 6 home runs, 20 RBIs. Dude, Alec Bohm has 32 RBIs right now.
What about Bryson Stott?
I mean, Bryce Harper has 18 RBIs. Alec Bohm has 32 RBIs. Hold on, let me see. I want to see something real quick. MLB RBI leaders. Let's see. Dude, Alec Bohm is tied
With who?
with Ozuna for RBIs. That's unbelievable, dude. No one would have bet in a million years. Now, hopefully they can keep this going. Because their pitching staff is doing pretty well, too.
Mm-hmm.
A few hiccups out of the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Anthony can take a walk, as far as I'm concerned. But
I think we should keep like Turnbull for another 3 years or something
3 years.
to see if he gets better. And like Whit Merrifield hit a home run. It's like I think it's his first home run.
No, I think he's got 2.
Oh,
Because I'm almost positive he hit another home run.
I think I'm wrong. Yeah, I think he did.
Let me see real quick. Merrifield. I'm almost positive. Yeah, he's got 2. 2
Yeah,
home runs.
I knew it.
But at least he's hitting 250 now. His
Yeah.
average is coming up.
Yeah.
Dude, what about Castellanos? Oh my God. Let me read you some of his stats.
We
I'll
should
tell you
trade
what,
him.
The whole reason I'm so hard on him is because he's such an arrogant, like
He's like Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris is a nice guy. Castellanos, I'm sure if you know him, he's really nice, but I'll tell you what, the way he comes off, he does not come off as a nice guy. And listen to me, buddy. If you're hitting 183, bro, you need to be a little bit nicer than that.
Johan Rojas is hitting 315, I think.
Rojas is hitting 228.
Oh.
But listen, at least he's getting some hits.
Mm-hmm.
So what is up with you, man? We almost never get to do a podcast, just the two of us. Lincoln right now is in a little bit of a hiatus. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but I got these awesome business cards made up.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the ones that are square. You know how like normal business cards are like a rectangle? Like what Dad's like work one is?
Mm-hmm.
I got ones that are square because I think that's like the new thing now is to make square business cards. And because I think when you're trying to hand out your business card, you're looking for like differentiation and like how's your card different than other people's, and if your card is the same as everybody else's, it doesn't stand out. I think the bad thing is that you can't put that card in like an old school card Rolodex because it's got different dimensions. But I think it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The front of it has got like one of the AI generated art things that I did where it's like you and Lincoln as like news reporters. And and I put like our YouTube handle and I put like and subscribe, and on the back I put like our original TheRippStixx logo. Are we going to hand these things out?
Yeah, but I feel like my teacher's going to yell at me for handing them out.
Well, here's what we do. So we only got 500 of them. All right. I'd say what you do first is maybe we hand them out not in school or after school, but only to like your good friends and only to people that you know actually watch YouTube.
A lot of people I know do that.
Because I don't want to waste a card giving it to somebody who's never going to do anything with it. But the whole point of the card is to get people to listen to our podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I'm really hoping out of it?
What?
I'm hoping that Lincoln finally gets convinced that I'm not totally cringe. Because he pretty much thinks I'm like the most cringe individual on planet Earth. And I'm like, bro, nobody's funnier than Dad. He just doesn't get it. What else is up, dude?
Nothing.
What do you want to do?
This.
You want to do some questions? I'd love to ask you some questions.
How about we do?
How about I ask you some questions first, then we can spin some.
All right.
All right. It's not very often.
Can I ask you some questions?
Yeah. It's not very often that the audience gets to hear just Franklin. All right. So let's see. All right, here we go. Okay. What's a holiday right now that does not exist that you would like to create? Like if you could have Franklin's holiday, Franklin Day, what would Franklin Day be? What would the holiday celebration be like?
I don't know.
Well, can I help you out? So when I think of Franklin, I think about personality. I think about donuts. I think about waffles. And I think about basketball.
But there's already like National Waffle and Donut Day.
Right. Well, that's why we're trying to think of National Franklin Day, because on National Donut Day, it's only donuts. On Waffle Day, it's only waffle. But on Franklin Day, what if it was like that was the day that families got together and played basketball while eating breakfast? So like everyone's running around the court, donut in the left hand, basketball in the right hand, and we're just all eating pastries and donuts and playing basketball.
But some people don't like pastries.
Who are these people?
I don't know. Like
Exactly.
Jewish people?
Jewish people? Jewish people love pastries. There's a lot of Jewish bakers.
I don't know.
Okay.
Can we skip that question?
Yeah, let's skip that question. Okay. All right. Let me go to another set here. All right, here we go. What in life is beautiful to you? What do you find beautiful about life? Like, what's the best thing about being alive?
Nature.
Nature. That's a good one. What do you like? Like, what part of nature do you like?
Nature or basketball?
Basketball's great too. But like, what would be the one thing that if someone snapped?
I like nature because like there's a variety of things that you can do.
Yeah.
With nature.
But what's the one part of nature that if someone snapped their fingers and took it away that you would like really miss?
Like if you took like every living thing of nature.
Well, yeah, that would be, I mean, you would literally be taking all of nature away. But is there one thing in particular?
No.
All right, next question. Very thought-provoking. All right, this is something I really want to know. Because here's what I'm trying to do, Frank. I'm trying to get this audience to know you a little bit better. Do you think maybe I could describe you to the audience?
No.
Can I?
No, just ask the question.
I want to describe you.
Fine.
All right. So Frank, you guys have now heard him on like probably 15 episodes. Let me tell you something about Frank. Frank is like everything as a kid that I wish I could have been. He is really smart. He's really funny, but he's extremely outgoing. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Franklin. He's got so many characteristics that make him like a real cordial, nice, playful, caring person. It's really kind of amazing. I wasn't like that as a kid. I don't think I was as physically talented as you. I definitely was not as caring and outgoing as you. You definitely get that from your mother. With that being said, I would like your input here, Frank. Franklin's got an interesting personality. Frank, what do we call, what's one of your nicknames that we call you? Remember talking to the mic?
Hamster?
That's one. That's my favorite. That's like cute little Franklin.
His mom says I always have an engine on me.
Yeah, you do. But listen to this. What's the one where when you start like going like this, what do we call you? Begins with a C and rhymes with Franklin. Cranklin. Franklin has an unbelievable temper where he can go from 0 to 100 in like 5 seconds. You've actually tried fighting me before.
Numerous times.
Yeah, talking to the mic, dude. Come on. That's where I was not like Frank. I would have never did that to my parents. So Frank, in the spirit of now the audience, can you please stop? Now the audience knows you a little bit better. I have a really good question for you. Franklin Wyckoff, how do you manage stress?
Usually I take walks. Like, that's what I do in school. Sometimes I just talk to an adult about my feelings.
What adult?
Wherever I am.
But which adult do you talk about your feelings to the most?
My mother.
Your mother. You two are like, if there were only 2 peas in a pod, you guys would be that pod. Sometimes you guys, I don't think what the audience realizes is like, if we sit down and watch TV in the evening, you are connected to your mother. It's almost like you're still in her stomach. It's pretty unbelievable.
I just use like stress toys or something.
Do you know what I think about when I see that?
Barely have it.
You know what I think about when I see that? Your mom all the time complains how you're like connected to her. Mm-hmm. But guess what? One day you're going to have a girlfriend and that's going to be the most important thing to you. And I can't wait to see your mother freaking out. Because she's going to miss that Franklin who used to sit with her on the couch and always hug her. And, oh, man, that's going to be something. All right, I'm going to ask you a few more questions, and then maybe we can spin the wheel or something like that. You're not interacting as much as I hoped you would. I wish that.
What?
I said you're not interacting as much as I hope you would. Like, it's just me and you. We have the opportunity to like do whatever we want. All right, I'm going to ask you a few more odd questions, and then we'll get to the wheel. All right.
Okay.
I want you to really put your thinking hat on, though,
Right.
and your creativity hat. If you could add any word to the dictionary, what would it be, and what would its meaning be? Any word that's not a real word. If you could add to the dictionary, what would that word be, and what's the meaning of that word for the audience? I know one. We use it all the time in the house. Begins with a D.
Dangling?
No.
Dupe.
Yep. What'd you just say?
Dupe.
Dupe.
I think that's our index.
I don't think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I looked up what is a dupe and it says it's a little micro.
Yeah, really?
I
let me
looked
see.
it
Hold
up.
on.
It said it's a little micro or someone who like
I'm going to go to dictionary.com.
go to the D.
Let's see.
Or I forget the meaning. I think that's
Let's
what it
see.
was.
Dupe. No results for dupe. It is not in the dictionary. So we could add it.
All right. And dupe means, well, isn't it slang?
Oh, let me get a Marian's real quick. Yeah, but you're adding it like to the dictionary.
So dupe means,
Yeah, dupe is not in Marian's either. Stop.
what does dupe mean?
You know what dupe means. What do we like? First off,
Someone-
use it in a sentence.
You're such a dupe.
Yeah. Okay. What would I be doing? What would I be doing for you to say that to me?
Saying, can we go to Florida? And you're like, you're such a dupe.
I would say when I use that word, it's like a mixture of rascal, dum-dum,
Immature.
and nudge. So I'll be like, hey, stop being a dupe.
Stop being nudge.
Like sometimes when I'm like, hey guys, do you want to work out with that? And you're like, well, I don't. And I go, yo, stop being a dupe.
You're being a nudge.
But then see, your mother sometimes goes, hey, little dupe. Like she uses it like you're cute. I never saw dupe as cute. But maybe it is though, because the beach house is called Sandy Dupe.
Sandy cute.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll do one more question, then we'll get to the wheel.
All right.
All right.
All right. I'm tired.
All right. For your birthday, would you rather go somewhere or get something?
Go somewhere because I can get something there, like a souvenir.
That's a really good answer. Where would you want to go for your birthday? Remember, your birthday's coming up in, like 8 months.
Way more than that.
Where would you want to go?
I don't know. Like Georgia, because I always wanted to like go there because you've been telling me how much activities there are there.
Okay, so here's the thing. Deal.
We're going there?
We'll go to Georgia for your birthday.
Okay.
What I said about Georgia, specifically about Atlanta, is that there's a lot of good food there, and there's also a pretty unbelievable aquarium.
And activities, like going to the aquarium.
I got to be honest, I don't know.
I think
don't know
there's
if- I
also
don't know
like
if it's
Ferris wheels there.
Probably. I mean, I've driven through Atlanta. I've been in Atlanta a few times. I told you my favorite place in the entire world to eat is in Atlanta. So that's something that we would definitely do. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, what are we doing?
The wheel.
Why are you yawning so much?
No.
What time did you wake up this morning?
7:32.
That's about what time you would wake up normally every day.
I know.
All right. We going to spin the wheel?
I'll spin it. I knew it. I'm like.
So what are we going to talk about?
Um.
Landing on dinos. You think dinosaurs are real?
Yeah.
Do you think dinosaurs look like they show them in the books?
I mean, no, because we never really know. Like, the tail could have been on its head.
Well, I think we know that because when they look up the fossils, they have found things that have been fully intact, so they kind of know where they
Yeah, I
would
was
land.
gonna say, like,
But have you ever
some
thought-
fossils are right, like I should.
Have you ever thought about, though, that, like, what they actually look like? Like, you know how we typically make their colors, like, brown or dark green or whatever like that?
Yeah.
What if they were, like, fluorescent color? Or what if they were covered in feathers?
I mean, that is a really big debate about could they be been covered with feathers or not.
What about...
And, like, it's a debate, like, if those sounds weren't really real, that they are that were in the movies or something.
What about... Hear me out. What if the dinosaurs were put here?
Like in this year?
No. I mean, on Earth. What if someone put the dinosaurs on Earth?
I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know if that could be true because, like, then where would the dinosaurs usually live? Like, they couldn't live on Mars. I mean,
What if it was outside of the solar system? They already know that there's other planets like Earth that are similarly distanced from the sun, which means they would have a similar climate. What if an extraterrestrial, meaning like a being from another solar system, what if dinosaurs are like their cats or dogs?
I mean, that could be true. And it also could be true that, like, some dinosaurs are still alive on other planets if they lived on other planets.
But you know what's really weird for me? Yeah, I agree. Remember the couple podcasts ago you talked about that Permian extinction?
Yeah.
So where my head goes is, how did the dinosaurs show up?
Probably, like, someone...
Because before the dinosaurs were around, it was all like big mammals. It was all like big mammals, like they kind of looked like hippos or...
It was like a mammal / reptiles.
But how did the dinosaurs just seemingly come out of nowhere? And when the extinction happened, why did the dinosaurs go and not other animals?
I mean, that's a good point. Was God around when the dinosaurs exist?
Well, God, I think if you talk to certain people, God has always been around. It's Jesus that
Was not around.
was not around.
Yeah,
he
so
was, 2000 and
maybe, like,
some years ago.
God forced, like if dinosaurs were on other planets, they forced them to go to another planet.
Did God create the other planets too?
No,
Or is there other gods that maybe created their planets? Like, is there a god per planet, you think?
I'm sure. But
Well, I'm not.
Planets are usually made of, like, stars and dust.
Right, but that's... Just hear me out. We think that, though, because someone's told us that. And the thing about the human brain is that we're really smart. And that's like... You ever think about, like, good movies where you're like, man, how did they come up with that movie? It's because the human brain's pretty smart and can come up with a lot of things. What if some of these things that they taught us...
We're not even a thing.
What if they were all made up?
I mean, that could be true. Like, for me, dinosaurs really did exist because then how do we find all these bones?
See this piece of paper I'm holding? This piece of cardboard? Mm-hmm. And you see how I can fold it? And it's like really easy to fold it. Mm-hmm. And I took that square and I made it into a rectangle. What if somebody was able to do that with time? Or better yet, what if they were able to do that with distance and matter? Like, think about the globe, right? Mm-hmm. And think about if you're looking at us on the globe. And if you went straight through the globe, you'd probably hit someone in like China. What if someone was able to figure out how to take our perceived reality and bend it, and you would all of a sudden just be in China?
I mean, then it will be like really a mystery because no one would know who did it.
Well, yeah, that's pretty true. And
people are still, like, paleontologists are still wondering of the Albertosaurus mystery.
What's the Albertosaurus mystery?
Well, it's in the family with T-Rexes, and they found 22 Albertosaurus like bodies,
right,
like bones, in one area, but the Albertosaurus was a carnivore, and it was big. So
wait a minute, why couldn't they? Just because it's a carnivore, that means they couldn't be together?
I mean, carnivores usually hunt alone. Like, Tyrannosaurus doesn't hunt with other Tyrannosauruses.
Well, let me ask you this.
But, like, raptors hunt with other raptors.
Let me ask you this. I can think of some carnivores right now that hunt in packs. Lions, hyenas. A cheetah usually doesn't. A tiger doesn't.
Well, and...
So are you saying it's weird because they considered Allosaurus to be like a T-Rex and they figured the T-Rexes hunt alone, but the Allosauruses were all together? Alberta, I mean. But in my opinion, that's like the difference between a tiger and a lion. Because a lion hunts in pride and a tiger is like by itself.
I know, but it actually looks like an Allosaurus because Allosauruses are big and they hunt alone. And they just wondered, like, could they have, like, been going for shelter and died, or could they been hunted by a bigger meat eater? It's like, look it up. Look up the mystery of the Albertosaurus, or the Albertosaurus mystery.
Albertosaurus mystery. Albertosaurus. Is it Albertosaurus?
It's like Albert.
Albertosaurus mystery.
And look at, like, pictures, what it would look like.
Let's see. The Albertosaurus mystery. Did you read this book?
Let me see. Yep.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm. I want to see pictures of an Albertosaurus.
Well, they show it, but...
Like, look up Albertosaurus. I want to see if it's actually, like, as big as some other meat eaters. And...
Well, I'll just do Albertosaurus.
Yeah.
First Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Let me see.
Hold on. Albertosaurus was certainly large for a theropod. It was still much smaller than its larger and more famous relative T-Rex, growing up to 26 to 30 feet in length and weighing between 1.9 and 3.3 tons. So it was smaller than a T-Rex.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to spin the wheel again. We done with the dinos?
Yep.
What is it? I can't read it.
Dad raps.
Dad raps. Oh, boy.
Yep.
Do I have to come up with some?
If you really don't want to rap, you don't have to.
Man.
I can spin it again.
Hold on. Still trying to find. Just give me 1 second. Talk for a little bit. I'm gonna try to find my. I wrote some rhymes up.
So, well, I think today's Cinco de Mayo, is it?
It is.
Yep. So, happy Cinco de Mayo Day. And if you don't know what Cinco de Mayo is, it's when they beat the French, in the war. And it was good for Mexico. And, yep.
All right. I think I found my lyrics. All right. Let me put a beat on.
All right.
Oops. Gotta go back to this. Do you want me to go with the beat that we did the podcast with?
I mean, whatever you want to be is.
All right, let me get a flow for this.
MTC Beatz.
All right, here we go. Yo, I'm the dad with the plan. Got no minivan, rocking socks with sandals. Yeah, that's my dad brand. Grilling up burgers, flipping patties with the ease. Got the barbecue smoking, bringing all the homies, please. What you think about that? What you think about that? Hold up, let me go.
Oh.
Let me go to another. Wait for this beat to come back in, all right? Got my dad bout on fleek. Ain't no shame in my game. Got my kids in the backseat, hollering out my game, teaching them life lessons. One day at a time, doing whatever it takes, keeping my family in line. I got one more ready. Used to wear a tool belt tight, always ready to fix. Got my dad reflexes, catching up every little mix from diaper duty to bedtime stories. I'm like a dad MVP, basking in all my glory. Got my little homie named Franklin sitting across from me. You gonna jump on the mic and help me?
I don't have any written down.
All right. Well, listen. How did my dad rap go?
Great.
All right.
Do you want to do the last spin?
Yeah, let's do one last spin.
And then I want to ask you some questions.
All right. Do you want to just ask me questions now?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Now, there's a lot of papers here, so you can ask me questions on any. So what Franklin's doing right now is I printed out a bunch of questions. Thought-provoking, funny, insightful, serious, life, all kinds of questions. Come closer to the light, dude, so you can read them better.
All right, I think I have one.
All right.
How often do you set your goals for yourself?
Wow. I mean, that's a barn burner of a first question. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me in like work or like life?
Life.
All right. I tend to like to do 1 year and 5 year. So I would say
Like 10 goals for a year?
No, I would set probably like 3 to 4 goals for a year, but they're all kind of working towards 1 or 2 goals over a 5-year plan. Does that suffice for you?
Yep. And how much more?
As many as you want.
All right, I'll do like 3 more.
Okay.
Do you think people have a higher calling in life?
I think that I think the majority of people do. Like, I think a higher calling can mean a lot of things. It can mean like serving a god. It could mean it could mean obtaining some sort of goal that you've always set out, creating children into men. I do what I think prevents people from really going after that is the work it takes, because no matter what you're going to try to do, if it's worth it, it's going to be hard. And I think sometimes people are a little allergic to hard stuff.
All right. Oh, this is hard. I'm reading this question. I can't even pick.
All right.
Which is more important, the human body or the human mind?
100% the human mind.
I was going to say that
It's not even close. I'll tell you why. Because if you get like a mind virus, if your mind isn't right, you'll never have your body right.
I know.
And if your body's right and your mind's not, you're basically just a
like
you're
your
just a
mind
dope.
tells you like work out, do exercises and stuff.
But here's what I'll tell you. All you have to do, and I know this just from years of doing this, go to a gym, go to a bar, go to work, go to the mall. So often the people who are built really good, or maybe a girl who's really, really pretty, so many times you
It
talk.
only matters about their mind and how they speak and how they act.
Right. Because so many times you'll talk to these people and you'll be like, oh my God, like this person's a dupe. So you got to get your mind right first.
Yep. I'll do 2 more. Why do people do things which they know are bad?
Wow. That's a great question too. There's many reasons for it. Some people do bad things out of attention. Like if you're talking about a child, like a child will tend to do bad things for some reasons, like they need more attention. Now, adults do bad things for different reasons too. I think there are people out there that commit crimes that do it out of desperation. And I could give 100 different reasons on why they should have never been in that desperate spot to begin with. But I think sometimes people get hard up and they do stupid things. But I also do think, and I'm telling you, this will be controversial, but I totally believe it. There are bad people out there. And maybe those bad people just haven't found their way in life yet. Or
It's
haven't.
probably because they are probably treated bad, so
Well, right.
they act bad.
But what I'm saying is that like there are 100% people out there that are bad, that are trying to harm you. But there's usually a reason behind it.
Yeah. It's usually like the other side of the story in life, usually.
Yeah.
All right, 1 more. What role does family play in your life?
Well, talking about, you and Lincoln and Mom, it's why I do everything. Like the only reason I work
is to help us.
and try to make money, is to try to provide opportunities for you guys. The only reason I work, before we just did this podcast, I was down here working out. The only reason I work out is because I think it'll keep me around here longer. So I try to do as much as I can to make you guys have the best chance to, progress. You got one more? You got time for like two more?
I'm going to do some funny questions.
All right.
I know when Lincoln hears this podcast, he's gonna be so embarrassed that I'm gonna ask this.
All right.
What is your signature dance move?
Wow, here's the thing. That's a hard question because I'm good at so many dance moves. I would tell you,
if you don't know, like I even know my signature dance move. So
I would tell you, I got a mean running man. I mean, I could hit him up with the Kid and Play. There's just so many. I can't wait for Lincoln to get married because I'm going to do all of them at his wedding. As a matter of fact, I might even do a dance at his wedding.
No, I have one. Do you like people watching, and can you come up with a story about them?
Oh my God, I love people watching. It's one of my favorite things to do. As a matter of fact,
it's one of like your hobbies.
It's not a hobby because I don't do it often enough, but I love, like, one of the things, what's funny? You know how when we go down to Fenwick every single year, what's the one thing I like to do when we go down to Fenwick?
What? Let people watch you surf?
No. What's the one thing I like to do that Mom hates doing when we go to Fenwick?
Going to the beach?
No, Mom loves the beach.
Going to
It begins with a B.
the board?
Board what?
Surfing?
The boardwalk, bro.
Oh,
Do you know why I love going to
the
that?
boardwalk?
Do you know why I love going to that boardwalk?
Why?
Because I love watching the people.
Like the people just like dancing on
It's
the
almost
side.
like, that guy Attenborough, the guy who narrates the wildlife videos, where he's like, look at this cheetah. This cheetah just got done, migrating from the grassy land. And he's like talking about him. He's like, I love doing that. I'll be like, look at this guy right here. Oh my God.
Do you like watching like those like trawlers like when they want to draw people? And
But you know what's funny? What Franklin is referencing is he's referencing when you go to the Ocean City, Maryland boardwalk, there's these guys that like do these spray paint like murals like right in front of you instantly. And they played like disco music in the background. They got these gas masks on. I love watching the people watch them because they all are the same type of person. They're all like sunburnt to a crisp, or they're wearing something they shouldn't be wearing, or they're just falling out of whatever. So to answer your question, I love watching people.
All right.
Last one. We got, make it a good one. And then I have one last question for you.
No. That's like
Can't wait to get these business cards, these RippStixx business cards. This podcast is going to blow up. It's going to be like Joe Rogan's podcast.
If you were going to a famous historical figure dress-up party, who would you go as?
Well, I've gone to parties dressed as Jesus Christ. But if I were to do it again, is it a Halloween party or like a dress-up person party?
Like a costume dress-up party.
I think I would probably dress up as probably one of the famous Vikings, like Vlad the Impaler or something.
And I have one more.
All right.
If you could breed a hybrid animal of any two species, what two would you choose?
All right. That's actually pretty easy for me. I would breed if there was nothing.
And what would it be called?
Okay, if there was nothing off the table, I would breed a rhinoceros with a bull mastiff.
What would that be called?
Bullrhinoceros.
I think it would be called bullhorn. Because like it had a horn.
Rhino stiff. How about that? A rhino stiff, and I'll tell you why. Because I love the way rhinos look. They just look like a battle tank. And bull mastiffs are just the kindest, most loving big animals. That's what I would do. All right, Frank. I have one last question for you.
All right.
Tell me what your week's going to be like.
Well, I'm hoping we win both of our baseball games. That's one of my goals. That's
very good. Have a goal. Dude, that's how you get better, man. In all aspects of life, have a goal.
I want to have a goal of exercising more.
There you go. I've been trying to get you to exercise with me like all the time.
Yep.
Don't you want to be like big and ripped like Dad?
Yeah. And
I mean, I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Don't you want to look like me?
Yeah. And try to get good grades in school.
Man, that sounds like a pretty good week. You got any other questions for me, dude?
No.
No questions?
No. I asked you a bunch.
Hey.
MTC Beatz.
I really like this.
Mm-hmm.
Just me and you. I think we should do this more often.
Maybe the cover should be like me and you in the board meeting.
I can try.
Uh-huh.
You want to try to do any rapping on this outro?
Well,
Think about the things you like. Basketball and donuts. Wake up in the morning. Grabbing my donut.
MTC Beatz.
Head into the courts, shooting hoops all day. My name is Frankie, and I love anything that's got sugar and cinnamon on it. I drink some milk with my protein in it. Then I eat a waffle with syrup.
all
All right, guys. RippStixx.
I'm
are,
Franklin Wyckoff.
and I'm Dad. Love you.
Love ya. Peace.
Peace.